Imagine running for your life. You've ditched the car, waded through a freezing river, and buried yourself deep in the dense, unforgiving woods. The sirens have faded. The helicopters have turned back. You think you've finally vanished into the night. But then you hear it, a low, rhythmic baying echoing through the trees. It's a sound that triggers a primal panic deep in your brain. You aren't being chased by a machine or a man anymore. You're being hunted by nature's perfect biological weapon, and it will never stop coming. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 10. The nose knows. The human brain is visual. We rely on what we can see. But a bloodhound perceives the world through a dimension we can barely comprehend. While you might smell a pot of stew, a bloodhound smells the carrots, the onions, the pepper, and the beef individually. They possess up to 300 million scent receptors, compared to our measly 5 million. When a fugitive runs, they leave an invisible trail of dead skin cells and sweat that settles on the ground like glowing neon lights. To a bloodhound, a criminal isn't just hiding in the dark. They are shouting their location with every single step they take. It is a biological surveillance system that never needs batteries and never malfunctions. Number 9. The fear response. Criminals often plan for police tactics. They anticipate roadblocks, K9 attack dogs, and SWAT teams. But the psychological terror of a bloodhound is different. It's slow, methodical, and inevitable. Unlike a German shepherd trained to bite and hold, the bloodhound is trained to find. The sound of its baying, that distinctive, mournful howl, signals to the fugitive that their time is running out. It creates a state of high anxiety and paranoia. Prisoners have admitted that hearing a bloodhound on their trail induced a sense of hopelessness that no police siren ever could. It strips away the illusion of escape. You can outrun a cop, but you cannot outrun your own scent. It turns the hunter into the hunted. Number 8. No hiding place. There is a pervasive myth among fugitives that you can mask your scent. They try everything: sprinkling pepper, walking through water, changing clothes. But for a seasoned bloodhound, these are merely minor distractions. In one famous case, a fugitive tried to confuse the dogs by walking along a busy highway, assuming the exhaust fumes would mask his trail. The bloodhound didn't even hesitate. It tracked him right down the breakdown lane. The dog isn't just smelling the ground, it's smelling the scent cone in the air. Even if a criminal submerged themselves in a swamp, the gases rising from the water would eventually betray them. There is literally nowhere on Earth a person can go without leaving a chemical signature behind. Number 7. The time traveler. Police investigations often go cold. Evidence degrades, witnesses forget, and trails vanish. But a bloodhound can literally smell the past. A cold trail to a human is a dead end, but to a bloodhound, it's just a history book waiting to be read. These dogs have successfully tracked missing persons and criminals on trails that are days, sometimes even weeks old. In one legendary instance, a bloodhound named Nick Carter picked up a trail that was 105 hours old. That's over 4 days, and successfully located the fugitive. To a criminal who thinks they got away with it days ago, the realization that their movements from last week are still visible to this animal is absolutely terrifying. It means the clock never really stops ticking. Number 6. Relentless stamina. Most police dogs are sprinters. They are built for quick bursts of speed to take down a fleeing suspect. Bloodhounds are marathon runners. They are built for endurance, designed to keep their nose to the ground for miles upon miles without tiring. Their loose skin and long ears aren't just for show. They actually help trap scent particles around their nose, keeping them focused on the trail. A criminal fueled by adrenaline will eventually crash. They need rest, food, and water. The bloodhound, driven by an instinctual drive to track, will keep going long after the human body has given up. It is a slow-motion pursuit where the pursuer has infinite energy and the fugitive is running on borrowed time. Number 5. Admissible in court. This is where the fear transitions from the physical to the legal. In many jurisdictions, the testimony of a bloodhound is admissible in court. If a certified bloodhound tracks a suspect from a crime scene to their doorstep, that trailing evidence can be used to convict them. It is one of the few instances where an animal's actions are treated with the same legal weight as a human witness. Criminals know that even if they wiped their fingerprints and wore gloves, the dog's nose provides forensic proof that connects them to the scene. It's a silent witness that cannot be bribed, threatened, or confused on the stand. The dog doesn't lie, and juries tend to believe the nose over the alibi. Number 4. The silent stalker. While the baying is terrifying, the silence is worse. Sometimes handlers will work their dogs quietly to avoid alerting the suspect. Imagine sitting in a dark, abandoned warehouse, thinking you are safe. You haven't heard a siren in hours. You're finally catching your breath. Suddenly, the door creaks open, and a dog enters, nose to the floor, leading a tactical team right to your hiding spot. The element of surprise is completely lost. Bloodhounds can track silently on a leash, closing the distance without the fugitive ever knowing they are being pursued until it is far too late. It turns the environment against the criminal, making every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig a potential signal of their impending capture. Number 3. Ignoring the decoys. Sophisticated criminals try to use decoys. They might split up, backtrack, or try to mingle with crowds to disperse their scent. This is known as contamination. For an untrained dog, a city street is a sensory overload. For a master bloodhound, it's just background noise. They are trained on a specific scent article, a piece of clothing or an item touched by the target. Once they lock onto that specific molecular signature, they practice scent discrimination. They can follow that one specific person through a crowded shopping mall, ignoring the thousands of other scents surrounding them. It's like picking out a single voice in a roaring stadium. The criminal's attempt to blend in only makes them stand out more to the dog. Number 2. The psychological breaker. The presence of a bloodhound breaks the criminal's will. Law enforcement officers often recount stories of fugitives who surrendered simply because they knew the dogs were coming. It's a form of psychological warfare. The knowledge that a creature effectively bred for centuries to hunt humans is on your trail saps the motivation to keep running. It feels futile. Why run 10 more miles if the dog is just going to find you anyway? This despair often leads to mistakes. Fugitives become careless, they panic, or they simply give up and wait for the inevitable. The dog defeats them mentally long before the police defeat them physically. It is the ultimate checkmate in the game of hide and seek. Number 1. Nature's perfect design. At the top of the list is simply the biological perfection of the animal itself. We have technology, drones, and satellites, yet we still rely on a dog breed developed in the Middle Ages. Why? Because nature did it better. A bloodhound tracking a scent is tapping into an ancient, primal lineage. They are driven by a singular purpose that overrides everything else: hunger, fatigue, pain. When a bloodhound is on the hunt, they enter a trance-like state. For the criminal, there is a horrifying realization that they are up against something that cannot be reasoned with. You can bargain with a cop. You can hide from a camera. You cannot negotiate with a nose designed by evolution to find you. So guys, the bloodhound represents an inescapable truth for the criminal. You leave a piece of yourself wherever you go. It is a living, breathing testament to the fact that our actions leave a mark on the world. To the police, the dog is a tool. But to the fugitive in the dark, the bloodhound is a monster of their own making. A relentless force of nature that turns the very air they breathe into the evidence that condemns them.